then. Let's first begin with EEAT. You may have heard me in the past if you've done any things with me with the Academy talking about EAT, which at the time was expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. This is a big holdover from our previous years of what to focus in on. It's been a big deal for Google for some time now. However, Google actually added a new E into the mix this year, and this E stands for experience. And according to Google, experience is that, well, let's face it, most users and now Google, well, we value content that we know is produced by someone who's got some firsthand life experience on the topic at hand. If you're a dog trainer and you've been training dogs for 25 years, well, we expect that information that you write about dogs and how to train them is going to be pretty, well known. It's going to be pretty good stuff because you have firsthand experience. Or perhaps you're just a real world user of a product or a service, right? Maybe you're doing a review of some product that you've purchased or some service that you have. You can think of like a Google review as someone that's got firsthand experience with the company that you've worked with. So it could be either somebody that is writing about content or information that they're, that the job that they do, or could again be somebody that's got real world experience with that. It can even be somebody that maybe has visited a particular place that they're talking about. Maybe you've gone on a particular cruise and you're reviewing the cruise because you have experience being on that cruise. Or maybe you're just writing content and you've spoken with an experienced person with that. So the idea though, again, is, as Jimi Hendrix could say, are you experienced, right? Do you have the proper understanding, knowledge base to be writing about the content that your user might be reading? Along with this new E in town for experience, we have the three old ones that have been around for some time now. That is expertise, right? Well, who are you and why should I take your word for what you say, right? What's your background? What's your experience with, not just, do you have experience, but what experience, right? You could say, hey, I'm a dog trainer. You should listen to me. But if you've been training for 6 months versus, 20 years, who would you more than likely think is better suited to writing better content? Someone with more experience, with more of an expert. So you need to be seen as an expert in your own line of business. And you do this by creating great content on an ongoing and regular basis and share it wide and far. And let's face it, anybody that you're getting regular emails from in your inbox that you read regularly as soon as it comes in, well, how did they become an expert to you? Well, typically it's because somehow you found them along the way and you maybe signed up for their newsletter, but they communicated with you, right? They wrote information, they sent you information that you read and you went, yeah, there's some good stuff here. I like this stuff. This guy or this gal must really know what's going on. They become an expert. And so you can become an expert too. You just got to get started by putting out content, building your list, and then maintaining a consistent and ongoing regularity in sharing this content, not just on your blog, but in your social networks, maybe in webinars like this one here as well. Authoritativeness is the A in the EEAT. And this just means that you need to show that your site is the authoritative or the authority within your industry, right? Think about it like this way, is your site the site that everybody else thinks about when they're in the industry, or is there a site out there that you are trying to be better than or do better than? So I did have a question of doing interviews and having them on YouTube is another way to showcase your EEAT. Yeah, that's a great point. Thanks for bringing that up, Matthew. Again, anytime that you're talking to people in an industry, if you're looking for information, YouTube videos are great. And not only can they be on YouTube channel, but you can also take that information and put it on your own website as like a vlog, let's call it, and then list the transcript of that conversation on the page. And oftentimes when you do things like that, your YouTube video can show up with that interview of the expert, or even you're the expert, maybe somebody interviewing you in a mock sort of interview. And then that content can go on your website, on your blog. Video can just be embedded from YouTube for argument's sake. And if the text transcript of that video is there too, you may find that your YouTube video and your page of content can show up too. Great point. So thanks for bringing that out. All right. So again, is your site the authority in the industry, or do you look at some other company that you want to kind of mimic, or you want to sort of do better than, or you want to kind of look at, hey, these guys are doing it right. I want to do it right, but then I want to take it to the next level. So are you authority? Now, you could be the authority in your industry, in your area, right? You don't have to be the authority in your industry nationally or globally. Perhaps you're the authority in Tampa, right, where I am. certainly that can be something too. You can certainly make a good, decent, healthy, authoritative site that is focused strictly on the Tampa Bay area, for argument's sake, or Florida as a whole. And then you have trustworthiness. Users and search engines need to know that they can trust you and your site to provide them with secure, reliable, and informative content that others appreciate and value. We've all been to websites where you're reading the content and you're like, ugh, this sucks, and you're gone. Other times you're reading through stuff and you love what they're putting out there. You love the answers that you're getting. You think the information that's been provided is truly valuable, maybe even to the point where you might share it with others, which is what I've done throughout this document, this presentation. As I was doing my legwork and research I found some great content out there. And what did I do? I grabbed those links and I put them into the document here and said, hey, here's a great place to get additional information. And so if you're writing great content, putting it out there too, others may do the same. They may link to your stuff. They may share your content or video or whatever it may be on other platforms like social networks and whatnot. Maybe they leave you a great review for what you've done. So trust not only manifests itself as reviews for your business or feedback about your brand, but it can also take on the form of technical or security issues, right? Is your site fast? Does it load quickly? Is it mobile friendly? Is it HTTPS secure? Does the user feel safe and comfortable working with your site? And this is a really important deal. I don't have the numbers here, but I think it's like out of 165 pages of the Google Quality Rater Guideline document, which is Google's instructions on how to judge a site as being high quality, low quality, horrible quality, spammy. They mentioned EAT, I think it was like over 150 times. So it's quite important in the grand scheme of things to understand EAT and to work on getting your EAT going, okay?